Tonight on Late Night Sports Talk, a memo by Clark Eaton, plus special guest Kyle Dillon. And now it's time for Late Night Sports Talk with Clark Eaton.
Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Late Night Sports Talk with Clark Eaton. I'm your host, Clark Eaton. Now, in a memo, the Mets have just made history. They won their fifth NL pennant, and they are going to the World Series for the first time in 15 years. Also, their MVP also made history. Daniel Murphy had 6 straight games with a homer. That is a new MLB postseason record. Now, as it terms for football, I think the Giants do have to play better. They can't fumble the football, and they cannot get pressured. If the same trend continues for the Giants, it will be bad. The Giants will lose more games week after week. Now, my guest this time is a backup running back for the Warriors. This man has a great personality, and just like myself, he's a Mets fan, and that is Kyle Dillon. So, Kyle, introduce yourself to the audience.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Dillon.
Now, the first topic here, always on Late Night Sports Talk, is football, because that's my favorite sport. Now, let's talk. Let's talk the New York Giants. Now, they won 3 straight, but last week Monday Night Football, they had a terrible game. Now, I will give the first interception to D'Amico Ryans and not Eli. I don't think it was his fault. I think Donnell got the ball ripped out of him by D'Amico Ryans, but I think the next 2 were obviously Eli's fault. How do you think Eli Manning can improve as a player?
Well, I think, as you said, I don't think that the first interception was his fault. I think D'Amico has a good linebacker, just ripped the ball out of his hands. But, to step up for Eli, I think he just has to lead the team a little more. Get things straight with all them, get communication going on better.
Now, as terms for defense, it did play well. It had 4 turnovers, but had many penalties. Now, Kyle, for the Giants, they had multiple penalties in this game. How can they fix that, do you think, as a team?
I think that's just discipline as a team. Through practice, they have to go through those. Make sure that they don't do anything stupid during the game.
Okay. Now, we go now into the realm of college football. Obviously, there were some teams in the beginning that were good, like Ole Miss and teams like that, but they're getting now upset by teams that nobody even thought would be possible in the top 25, like Memphis and Temple is right there. How do you think these teams are just coming up out of nowhere? Do you think it's just talent, or what say you?
I totally agree with you. Teams like Temple, they play it as well as they can. They probably practice even harder. They play teams like Penn State, Temple did, and they smacked them around. And I think they just have a lot of young talent, and they'll probably just progress throughout the year just as they get more experience.
All right. And I think the same reason too. I think a lot of teams have talent that it was up and coming. We didn't see it coming, and now you see these upsets like Memphis beating Ole Miss last week. Now, I know I'm saving the best for last here. Now we're talking about the Mets.
Here we go.
The team that we both like. We thought in the beginning of the season that they wouldn't even make it to the World Series, but we knew they were going to get the playoffs. After that Cespedes trade, it was such a big impact. But in any other way, do you think any other moves impacted the Mets?
Yeah, definitely. I think in addition to getting the big bats, I think just them getting a good core of the pitching, I think everything else just fell into place through there. They got some good defenders even with the bats. They got everything going on now, and I think they're going to do pretty well against, I think, who they're going to go against is the Royals. So we'll see how that goes.
And see, I have a different prediction. I think that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to go in because I was watching that game last night, and I think that the Toronto Blue Jays just the momentum in that series changed. I think last night, and I think Toronto's going to take it to 7-3. Now. Obviously, this week we have to talk about the game plan. That's the final segment of our show. This week you guys have Scranton. They're a big opponent. They're coming off of win. I believe same record as us. They're a good football team. Now, without giving much, we know you have a good plan on offense, but you don't have to share much. You know your back running back. What's the plan this week against Scranton?
Well, I think we're just gonna do a lot of move around. Try to get the defense a little confused. Use Awesome a lot as we always do. Also use a lot more of our key players this week. See what they can do. Maybe someone else can shine this week.
All right. Now, that was another edition of Late Night Sports Talk. Stay tuned for next week's guests. For everyone here at All Sports, this is Clark Eaton here with Kyle Dillon. It was nice having you, Kyle.
Great to have you.
This has been another edition of Late Night Sports Talk.